Texas, home of the Baylor Bears. What could be better than tailgating on a college football Saturday? Well, if you just add water, it is now sailgating. McLean Stadium, one of 3 in college football that offers this unique experience. Fans can boat up the Brazos River, tie up right next to the stadium, and it is the perfect day to be here on the water in Central Texas. Highs of 95 degrees, triple digits expected on the field. So if I didn't have a game to get to, I would be staying out here, Steve.
Can we get Molly a life jacket, you think?
She could have gone in, you know.
No chipping, Joanna, just Steve and Brian here. You know, they have the fixer-uppers here in Waco. We got some up-and-comers in the Big 12 opener here today.
Certainly some up-and-comers. You know, I don't think anybody would argue that Texas and Oklahoma are probably still the favorites in the Big 12, but the winner of this game today could challenge later on in the year those two teams.
Now, normally at this time, we break into the quarterbacks and give you all sorts of superlatives, but no, we'll save that for the other guy. That's McShane. Let's talk about the defense around the country. People are noticing what Iowa State's doing.
Yeah, no, don't say I don't like talking about defense. I love talking about defense, and there is a little bit of a defensive revolution going on in college football, and it started in Ames, Iowa. This defense of Iowa State you see in the last 2 years has been #1 and #2 in scoring defense. It goes back to Matt Campbell and John Haycock, the defensive coordinator, 2 years ago, made a decision with the limited amount of talent that they have at Iowa State 2 years ago and playing in the Big 12, they wanted to change their system and their structure to compete. They've done it. We're going to take a deep dive into it today.
Ooh, defense in the Big 12. Get everybody excited about that, indeed. As for what Charlie Brewer will face today, now to the quarterbacks. Here's Todd McShay.
First of all, I want that boat assignment next time it's 95 degrees out here. Secondly, most pressure on him of any player in this game. He played well a year ago. He's off to a hot start. And when you look back and watch the tape, they moved the football last year. That wasn't the problem. It was finishing drives, third downs, and the red zone. If they can be more efficient in the red zone today, they can pull off this home upset over Iowa State.
So they met last year, and they were a slightly different circumstance a year ago in Ames. 25 degrees at kickoff. And on the turf today, it'll be 148 degrees. It was 181 degrees on the field here a couple of weeks ago against UTSA. So this should seem rather breezy for the home team and the home fans. Jay Sedgwick will kick it away for Baylor. Johnny Lang is back deep for Iowa State. Baylor won the toss and chose to defer. Lang calls for the fair catch at the 5. We'll bring it out to the 25. Here's all the talk about Brock Purdy. Told you coming off a record-setting performance. Matt Campbell said the guy's a gym rat. You usually hear that about basketball players. Deshaunte Jones, wide receiver, the talent through the roof for that guy. Our old pal and former Iowa State quarterback Sage Rosenfels calling him the real deal. Baylor's head coach said we couldn't tackle him. That was an issue, especially in the run game a year ago on third down.
And I'll add one more on top of that, that Tom Manning, the offensive coordinator, said he's the most mature college student he's ever coached.
Yeah, mature and a college student. Purdy comes out throwing, hits Tariq Milton. Pick up a 5 on first down. Mentioned the record-setting performance for Brock Purdy. He's already well ahead of last week's pace because he threw an interception on the very first play. You see some of the numbers. Passed for 435 yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for 3 more as they just blew the doors off of Louisiana Monroe 72-20. Shovel to Deshaunte Jones, trying to get him in space, and on second down he gets 6 for the first down.
And all those superlatives for Brock Purdy, but I think the most important thing that he needs to do today is be patient. He's going up against the Baylor defense that's going to play a lot of drop 8, rush 3. They're going to make him hold the football.
And they do like to go fast. Ball is batted up in the air and nearly intercepted. Opportunity. Jordan Williams got a hand on it and nearly picked it off himself, the team captain.
Yeah, you're going to see Jordan Williams. He's lined up right here. They're going to try to fake the inside zone, and Williams doesn't take the bait, and Purdy tries to force it in behind him, almost comes up with the interception.
This Baylor defense is very well aware of what they're calling the Purdy pump, the pump fake that abused them last season in Ames. We'll watch for that. On 2nd and 10, here's Purdy. Protection is excellent. And this is what he can do for you, but he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage. Clay Johnston, the top tackler for Baylor, not falling for that one. Third down, Todd.
And two things to look for here. Obviously, Purdy killed Baylor on the ground last year in this game on third downs with his feet. The other thing is Charlie Kohler, tight end, great weapon, great security blanket, high-end intelligence, Tom Manning, the coordinator, said, and he's off to a great start this season with 14 catches.
Third down and 10. Pressure up the middle. Purdy gets out of there. There is a flag down. You know, it looks like it'll be a holding coming back. The pass was incomplete anyway.
Holding. Offense number 74. Grabbed the jersey of the defender and pulled him back. That penalty's declined. Fourth down.
Mike was in the gym this morning, as you can see. He was him and his crew specially assigned to this game here today after some friction between Iowa State and Baylor. Got into a big fight last year, had ejections. We'll document that as the afternoon progresses. Here's Joe Rivera. He did not punt. Iowa State did not punt last week. Fourth time since 2000. They didn't punt. That's a short one, gets a decent roll. It's already well ahead of the pace of the punting game from 1 week ago. This was the scene last year in Ames. Early in the third quarter, Greg Roberts knocking David Montgomery into the Gatorade table there. And the bad blood continued on the next play. You can't see Roberts slapping Montgomery's helmet, but Montgomery retaliated. They always get the second guy. Both players would be ejected. Iowa State went on to defeat Baylor 28-14.
Yeah, we asked both coaches about that this week, and they both wanted to move on. They wanted to talk about this game today, but certainly these two teams are fired up. They know they're fighting for scraps in the Big 12. Expect a spirited outcome today.
Start from their own 28. Here's Charlie Brewer with time. He'll take a shot down the field. Denzel Mims is there, and he's got it. What a throw and catch. Good for 43, beats Anthony Johnson on the play.
Well, Denzel Mims is the playmaker on this offense. It's a little out and up. The double move on Anthony Johnson. The corners for Iowa State, Steve, are the weakness of this defense if you can find one. And a great play call early on by Jeff Nixon for the double move.
On first down and 10. From the 26, Brewer looks to keep it, and he will slide down just short of the first down marker. We'll give him 7 on the play.
And a great start for Charlie Brewer. You know, when you have a team that comes in to your house and you're the underdog, you want to take that first punch. They came out on defense and got a couple of good rushes and a great stop on defense, and now a big play offensively, and they're in the red zone. But this is the area where Baylor broke down in this game a year ago. They have to finish drives with touchdowns to beat Iowa State.
Bit of a high snap. Brewer hauls it down. Out to JaMychal Hasty, and he's spun around. He's going to lose yards on that play. Loss of 1, Todd.
You know, I thought it was interesting talking to Iowa State head coach Matt Campbell. He said the two things we have to do. We've got to keep eyes on Brewer, the quarterback, and we've got to make sure that we know every single play where Mims is. And Denzel Mims, obviously, with the first big play, and then Brewer takes off and runs and gets him in the red zone. But you're right, Grease. They have got to execute here if they're going to pull off this win.
Baylor, #1 in the country on third down conversion so far, nearly 62%. Know it's early, we know the schedule, but still #1 in the nation on third down, facing a 3rd and 5 at the 21. Here comes the pressure. Brewer gets rid of it, batted up in the air, and Mims could not haul it in with Anthony Johnson on him.
See right away Iowa State deciding to bring some pressure on third down. Look at this pressure up front. The Mike linebacker running right through the middle. Brewer makes the exact correct read, throws a great ball, and Mims allows it to get onto his pads rather than catching it with his hands for the first down.
Gonna attempt a field goal here with John Mayers. Last week, Mayers missed his only attempt. That was on the first drive of the game from 37. This will be from 38. It was the only field goal attempt all season for Baylor so far. Here's attempt number 2. On the way, and no good. Expected to be an issue, and it is early.
That looked exactly like it did a year ago when they had these struggles in the kicking game against Iowa State. They get a big play to start on offense. They get down there, they break down on offense, and they miss the field goal.
Back after the missed field goal. Scoreless early on, Baylor and Iowa State. Second possession for the Cyclones. And Brock Purdy will start at the 21. Two tight ends. They like to throw to 88, Charlie Kohler. Here's Purdy. And he'll lose a couple on the play. James Lynch makes the stop, -2 on that play. And actually, Tom Manning, the offensive coordinator, said, look, on the RPO, we got to limit those because he wants to run all the RPOs. We got to protect him from himself, in essence.
Yeah, well, sometimes he wants to throw the ball a little bit too much. And at that time, he clearly should have given the ball to the back. There was a crease on the inside, and Purdy made the wrong decision.
Second and 12 after the loss. That's Kohler in motion, top of your screen. Here's Purdy. Pocket is good. Zips one across the middle, and it is caught for first down yardage. It's a gain of 12 to Deshaunte Jones. We check in with Matt Barry. Today's Aflac trivia question is a little different here. It's not necessarily statistical or
what do you got?
Something you find in a history book. Who was the best man at Brett Favre's wedding?
What?
How about that? Yeah. Here's a hint. There's the wedding photo. And the question is, who is that gentleman on the right, and how does he pertain to our football game here today?
You got me on that one.
I'll tell you that shortly. Can't believe you didn't know that off the top of your head, Greek. On first down and 10. It's Purdy. He'll keep it, take some people on, and be very close to a first down as we hit the final minute of quarter number 1. Purdy was their leading rusher last week, 75 yards, and he is their leading rusher so far here today. Brock Purdy. That can't be a good thing. You don't want your quarterback to be your leading rusher, right? That's out of necessity.
No. They need these running backs to step up. You know, Nwangu's a little bit nicked up today. Haven't seen him yet.
Here's Lang, pretty shifty, making people miss. As he approaches midfield, needed 1 and got 10. We'll see if that's the last play of the quarter.
And they like Johnny Lang, but they've got 2 young backs in Breece Hall and Jarrell Brock. We've seen on the 4th down run. They're excited about them, but you know. The loss of David Montgomery has been significant. It was a great player, obviously now with the Chicago Bears, and it's not easy to replace a talent like that, and they've got a running back by committee so far.
Also trying to replace, of course, Hakeem Butler at the wide receiver spot. Seem to be better prepared to replace Butler than Montgomery. That will do it. 1 quarter in the books. And we remain scoreless. Been a hard-hitting defensive affair, just as we predicted. Defense is alive in the Big 12 and here in Waco today. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Todd McShay, Molly McGrath from Waco, Texas. So this is going on just about virtually every single opportunity. And they're not government secrets, but they're still pretty important. And these teams want to keep their business to themselves. And that's for anyone who might be watching from the coach's booth, on television, any kind of scouting.
I thought they were just giving him some shade.
No, that's not it. Purdy hit as he threw, and a little too long for Joe's skates. North Carolina off that loss a week ago. Figured it out early against Clemson. Still a lot of time to be played there. Here's Purdy, he's shifty. He'll be swung back around by Chris Miller, the big hitter in the middle of that Baylor defense, no gain.
Maybe the most impressive thing so far in this football game has been the Baylor defense and their ability to slow down this Iowa State offense. Remember, it was Louisiana Monroe last week, but this Iowa State offense really found their rhythm, and Brock Purdy in particular. But this Baylor defense, led by Phil Snow, their defensive coordinator, has been up to the task so far in this game.
I think Baylor's tired already hearing about Iowa State's defense. So we can play some defense too. Here's 3rd and 9. Purdy has a clean lane to throw into, and it is caught. What a grab. Deshaunte Jones going up and getting it on a big play and a gain of 15 to move the sticks.
Well, you know it's going to be tight windows, and Brock Purdy and Deshaunte Jones on the same page. Chris Miller, number 3, the defensive back, in great position. A better catch.
Here's Purdy trying to get out of there. Not this time. Going to be dropped back at the 45. It's a loss of 4, and Clay Johnston was the first man in.
Boy, Iowa State, you know, they get a first down and they ratchet up the tempo, and I'm not so sure it's the right thing to do. They don't want to go super fast. That's not who Matt Campbell is and Tom Manning on offense. But a couple times in this game, they've gone really fast, and it's come back to hurt them. It didn't look like Purdy was on the same page there.
2nd and 15. Good protection. Purdy will throw out of it. Up high is Tariq Milton. And I'll tell you what, Baylor's really hitting on defense, and Iowa State hanging on to that football.
We've been talking about defense so far in this game. It started 2 years ago with Iowa State running this rush 3, drop 8 style of defense, keeping the ball in front of them, coming up and making plays, and limiting windows for quarterbacks in the Big 12 to throw. Now look at Baylor. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Now they're rushing 3, dropping 8. No windows for Brock Purdy to throw the football. They come up and make the play. This is taken over in the Big 12, and you're starting to see it now across the country, Steve. Clemson, in fact, is starting to do some of this as well.
On 3rd down and 4, Purdy throwing, nothing doing. Jones is looking for a flag. Covered by Henry Black. That's 8 on 8. Down to Molly.
Steve, you saw Bravion Roy being helped off the field before this drive. He was really struggling on the sideline, keeled over, heavy breathing, getting a lot of water. He's now sitting on the sideline currently getting some fluids.
Big man, not just because of his size, but what he means in that 3-3-5 defense for Baylor. Today's Aflac trivia question was, who was the best man at Brett Favre's wedding? And the answer is Kent Johnston. He is the current Baylor strength and conditioning coach. He's the gentleman on the right in that picture.
Okay, how does he know Brett Favre?
And he is the father of, oh, by the way, Clay Johnston, the middle linebacker for Baylor.
Okay.
And so Brett got married so long ago. That's Clay, who grew up to be 6'1" and 232 pounds, in his right hand. Think Favre's about to throw an interception there or not?
So Kent Johnston must have been on a team or a medical staff with Brett Favre. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what 24 years in the NFL, Greece.
Okay,
strength and conditioning coach.
Got it.
And currently on the staff here.
Wow, what a great picture that was.
Connor Asali is on for a 49-yard field goal attempt to break this scoreless tie. Asali on the way, and no good. His career long was 50 last season, but Asali can't knock it through from 49. On 1st down and 10, Brewer throwing, and it is dropped by Chris Platt. You could understand if Iowa State went to Clemson, right? But not Dabo and company the other way around to Ames. That is a real compliment to John Heacock. And in our Baylor meetings, they could not stop talking about Heacock.
Yeah, and I don't think that he gets enough credit around the country. And in talking with him, he was the first one to say, hey, listen, this is about our entire defensive staff. This is not about me. You know, we came to Ames, Iowa, we didn't have the greatest talent in the Big 12. And all these offenses were running these passing situations. We had to adjust.
Brewer's 0 for his last 5 passing, so he'll run right out of bounds. Pick up 4, be 3rd and 6. Here's Molly.
Well, Steve, Baylor's Charlie Brewer a little nicked up on the sideline. His right arm was bleeding. He was stretching out his right shoulder a lot. And he was really frustrated, visibly yelling at his O-line, encouraging more protection. So the field isn't the only thing that's hot. Steve, he had to be calmed down by his coaching staff.
Okay, Molly. Third down and 6. Brewer can't find anybody open. And again, he'll scamper out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. Very close. See where he stepped out as opposed to where he reached the football out.
Yeah, great effort by Charlie Brewer, but I think he's going to come up a little bit short. Both coaching staffs were worried about the legs of the opposing quarterback. He steps out with his left foot right there before he gets to the first down marker. Now 4th down, and Matt Rule's going to have to punt the football. You see that left foot?
Yeah, it just touches
down.
the white. Yep. So Baylor, who led the nation in 3rd down conversions today, is 0 for 4. Last drive took 41 seconds. The drive before that took 19 seconds. I mean, there's 3 and out, and there's 3 and out.
Yeah, you got to run the ball, right? And I think both coordinators need to realize, and they know it's not easy to run the ball against these defenses, but you can't come out here and back-to-back drives and not take more than a minute off the clock.
Power from his own 25. Milton back deep for Iowa State. Pretty short. See where the bounce goes. Takes a bit of a Baylor bounce. And that will really rescue Isaac Power from what would have been a really short punt.
Bravion Roy, the nose guard, is back out on the field. It's a good sign for Baylor.
That's Lang, the running back, top of your screen. There's Brock Purdy. Underneath, a shallow cross to Deshaunte Jones, able to stay on his feet. Good second effort, gets the first down, gain of 11.
You know, one thing I've seen, Brian, from Purdy today, he's so much more comfortable, for whatever reason, throwing the ball over the middle. Crossing routes to Kohler, his tight end, to his wide receivers when they're running shallow routes across the field. He just seems to be more comfortable than anything outside of the numbers.
I think it's a good point, Todd. It's because that's where you got to throw the ball against this defense. They're stacked on the outside. The windows are inside.
Sheldon Croney goes forward for a gain of 1 on the play. J.T. Woods knifed in there.
Not to mention, as a quarterback, right, you can see the lanes easier in the middle of the field. When you start to throw the ball out towards the numbers, it's a little bit more difficult to judge the window. And Brock Purdy doesn't have the strongest arm in college football, so I think that's kind of the combination of reasons why he's working the middle.
2nd down and 9. That's Chase Allen, the tight end, in motion. Here's Purdy to throw. Steps and fires. Wide open is Tariq Milton. And he's out to the 44. It's a gain of 25 yards. We have not seen the big chunk plays there. There it is for Milton, from Purdy.
Yeah, Baylor decided to bring a little bit of pressure from the field. It was picked up perfectly by this Iowa State offensive line, and Purdy made the perfect read in the seam.
And Milton, from Florida, comes in averaging 24 yards per catch. Only 13 catches coming into the game, but he's their speedster and their big play receiver.
He's the guy that is trying to replace, or closest to, Akeem Butler, now of the Arizona Cardinals. Here's Purdy. He'll lean forward, pick up 2 on the play. Clay Johnston makes the stop. A lot of talk about the heat. Let's go down to the field. Todd, what's it like down there?
It's hot.
Back to you.
Molly is also on the field. Molly, your thoughts?
Well, Steve, triple digits down here, so Baylor's getting creative. They have troughs filled with ice for the players to dip their elbows and arms. I'm going to do it because it feels really good.
If I have one more,
cool down their body temperatures, and at halftime, Steve, they have a refrigeration truck for the players to go sit in to get their body temperatures down. They call it the meat locker.
Like it. I would so stick my head in that right now.
if I have one more official tell me, oh, you should have been here 2 weeks ago, it was really hot, I'm going to snap.
2nd down and 8. Here's Croney. Using 3 tight ends there, they pick up 4 yards. Yeah, well documented how hot it was. 181 on the field against UT San Antonio.
Wow, it's no laughing matter for these guys on the field. I can guarantee you that. It's only going to get worse in the second half.
That is part of the home field advantage in this particular case.
Well, Iowa State hasn't played in this kind of weather, right? They've been in 80-degree weather at most. So this is definitely going to be a challenge, not so much in the first half, but definitely in the second half.
And again, when they met last season, it was 25 degrees in Ames. The home team won that game, 28-14. Here's 3rd and 4. Purdy, a little shift. Now has to just get rid of it. Clay Johnston was running away from it. Did that get intercepted? Purdy was just trying to throw it away, and now the officials will discuss. Jordan Williams did not give up on the play. And it is signaled as an interception for the turnover. Purdy was just trying to throw that away.
What an unbelievable play by Jordan Williams. You mentioned it. Yeah, he's just trying to throw the football away. He got a tip early in the game, almost intercepted it, and this time capitalizes on the mistake from Brock Purdy. Extending the play. He's just trying to throw the ball out of bounds, but if you're going to do that, throw it out of bounds. And look at this play by Jordan Williams. He got both feet in, controlled that ball to the ground. Unbelievable play.
And I believe that might be his first career interception. Great eyes while everybody else gave up on that ball. Jordan Williams said, "I'll take that. Thank you very much." Baylor to the offense. The power breezer cooling him down on the sideline. 6 minutes left in the half, scoreless half. Here's Tyquan Thornton staying on his feet out to midfield. The sophomore from Miami, after 3 consecutive 3-and-outs, hey, it's a first down for the home team. Brewer trying to get it quick out into the flat for Thornton again. Justin Bickham saw that one coming. Bickham's one of those right place, the right time guys, and that was evident on that play.
Yeah, what doesn't get talked about a whole lot with Iowa State defensively is how well they tackle. We talk a lot about the scheme, but the scheme is only good on paper. If the players don't go out there and execute and make tackles in open space, it's not worth anything.
Brewer throwing on the run. There's no way that could have been inbounds, but still an excellent catch by R.J. Sneed.
I don't know.
Sneed known to have the best hands on the team. How could you possibly be inbounds?
Watch his foot here. His left foot just out of bounds. It was a lot closer than you thought.
Sneed is the guy that I thought or everybody thought?
You.
Oh, just me personally. Yes. Got it. Sneed is the guy who makes highlight catches on this team. What a grab that was. And I love the no quit on that. Baylor has yet to convert on a third down. They are 0 for 5, and again, came in #1 in the country. Some of that has to do with the easiest early season schedule of any Power 5 school. And here up against this tough Iowa State defense. And there it is. It's Denzel Mims, and forward progress will be enough. And that is the first third down conversion. Needed 10, got all of it.
And the best play of the game so far for Brewer. He takes a shot here at the end from Orion Vance, but stands in there, finds the window, and gets a huge first down for Baylor.
That's that patience you've been talking about all game, Brian. He finally trusted his protection, and his protection held up. Connor Galvin, the left tackle, actually blocked 2 guys to give him just enough time to get the ball out.
Brewer had missed on his previous 6, connects for a fresh set of downs, and the football comes out. Brewer very lucky that ball bounced right back into his hands, and Anthony Johnson trying to chase him out. Johnson actually knocked it away from Brewer. Yeah, that's clean living right there.
Anthony Johnson came on a corner blitz, and Brewer never saw him, and very fortunate, as you said, Steve, that ball bounces back into his hands.
2nd down and 4. On the ground, it's Ebner. Has first down yardage and more. Treston Ebner, the junior from Henderson, Texas, gets 11. And consecutive first downs on this drive for Baylor now.
And you get a couple of first downs, and then the run game, right? The run game starts to get into effect, and Matt Campbell, who talks so much about the discipline on defense that time, very upset with Amici Walker.
Right back to the running game. It's Ebner. Another good gain there on first down. And Matt Campbell is hot, and it's got to be getting hot there for visiting Iowa State on a long drive like this one.
Well, and you can tell Baylor's trying to slow it down now. You got just over 3:30 remaining in the half. Get the ball back in the second half. You'd love to be able to score and take all the time off the clock, too.
Campbell was hot with Walker because he lost contain on that running play. He's a backup corner. They put him in there to spell Anthony Johnson and didn't keep contain.
It's Ebner again. Maybe 1. We'll call it 2 to bring up a 3rd down and 2. And inside the red zone here for Baylor, and this is where they really struggled in last year's game. 7 times they got into the red zone against Iowa State. 7 trips, amounting in only 14 points. On the first drive, got into the red zone here today, and John Mayers missed on a 38-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, and if I'm Matt Rule, this is 4-down territory. I'm not going to bring John Mayers back out on the field if I don't have to.
3rd down and 2. Here's Ebner. Can't get to the outside. Braxton Lewis the first man there. Excellent play by Lewis. It's a loss of 3 on the play. Here, 4th down. You still feel the same way?
Well, you know, not when you lose 3 yards. You're thinking 3rd and 2, and maybe if I don't get it and then come up with a 4th and short, you go for it. But I think that took the decision out of Matt Rule's hands. Now he's got to kick the field goal at 4th and 5.
Boy.
Well, I might want to get the ball in JaMychal Hasty's hands. He's good out of the backfield. He hasn't done much so far in this game, and he's lined up right next to Brewer.
So here we go on 4th and 5. Brewer will zip one, and it is caught. Complete. Chris Platt, who had dropped a couple earlier, makes a clutch catch, his first grab of the game and the 1st down.
Great look, great patience from Brewer. You got to wait for this to develop. If he throws his ball now, you can see there's somebody in the window, but when he holds it and the patience, he gets the window to open up, and a huge 1st down for Baylor.
Can still get a 1st down. On the ground, here's Hasty. Stays on his feet. Orion Vance wrestled him down, but after a gain of 2, and the clock continues to wind.
I'll take your time if you're Baylor, right? You don't need to be in a rush at all. You want to take all this clock down. You've got your timeout, so everything is available to you. But most importantly, you got to get the ball in the end zone. Haven't been able to do that on a consistent basis against this Iowa State defense for the past 2 years.
This by far the best drive of the game for Baylor. 2nd down and 8. Brewer to throw for it. Got a man in the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Denzel Mims for the score, beating Anthony Johnson. And we have our first touchdown of the game. An excellent drive by the Baylor Bears.
This was all about the release. Mims off the line of scrimmage. That left hand jerks down Anthony Johnson, gets in position, and finishes the drive for Baylor.
That's what Mims does so well, too. He's not the fastest guy, but he's got good size, and he knows how to use his hands to create late separation. Great catch by Mims, and a huge play right before the end of the half.
Mims has catches in 28 consecutive games. That one for 6, and the extra point. That might have kissed the upright and through. Bit of a smooch in a 7-0 game. All right, joint starting to jump after our first points of the game. 12 plays, 68 yards. Took 5 minutes off the clock. Mims 9-yard touchdown catch. Charlie Brewer 5 of 6 for 44 yards. Everything that Baylor could not do right the rest of the first half, they did right on that one drive.
Yeah, give credit to Matt Rule going for it on 4th down. That decision, you know, in last year's game, he said that he got uptight and he felt like he didn't give his team a chance to win. He had to make it all about football, and certainly did on that drive.
Here's Milton from inside his 5, and he'll crash out to about the 26-yard line.
I really like the way the Big 12 is shaking out. I mean, everybody wants to talk Oklahoma, and I get it. You know, Texas looks strong despite the loss to LSU, but look at Kansas State and Oklahoma State tonight. Those two teams, Chris Kleiman done a great job at Kansas State.
Here's a little bit of pressure. Purdy throws and snuck it in there to Charlie Kohler. We send it down to Molly.
Steve, Iowa State's players are facing the direct sun on hot metal benches. They had tents up pregame for shade, but the Big 12 told them to take it down. Meanwhile, Baylor's players are in the shade, and the turf on Baylor's sideline, 104 degrees. Iowa State's 145.
Wow. Again, part of the home field advantage. I get it.
Wow. Well, I don't understand why the Big 12 would say they can't have tents on their side, but Baylor can have tents because they've got things that are shading them. How is that fair?
It's not. Part of the home field advantage, apparently. 20 seconds left. Iowa State can still stop the clock one time. Purdy didn't feel the backside pressure, got rid of it in time. Able to complete to Deshaunte Jones. 19-yard gain there.
Yeah, you got to get up and spike the football here. 12 seconds left in the half.
Want to save that one timeout for the field goal. 8 seconds left on the clock.
You practice these situations. You got to throw the ball quick and get down and call the timeout.
Baylor just rushing 3. Here's Purdy. Just leak it out to Crony. 1 second left. There are zeros on the clock now.
Takes their third and final timeout of the half. There were 2 seconds on the clock. Please set the game clock to 2 seconds.
Connor Asali will attempt a field goal from 49 yards away. He has missed earlier today from 49. His career long is 50, set last season. Missed from 49 earlier to the left. Asali to put Iowa State on the board. It's blocked. The field goal is blocked. James Lynch looked like he blocked it, and it's picked up by Blake Lynch. The Bears have blocked 12 kicks in 29 games under Matt Rule. 7 kicks in the last 9 games. And that's how the Bears keep the Cyclones off the board. 7-0 Baylor at the half. Back to Matt, Joey, Jesse. Welcome back to the Big 12 on ESPN, presented by PlayStation. Waco, Texas, 7-0. Not after the opening drive, but after the first half, as Baylor looks to keep their perfect season alive. Look, it's a tad warm here in Waco.
I'm really proud of you that you've made it through the first half this hot.
If the people could only see, there's a giant air conditioning unit there. The crew taking care of your boys right here. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy. We'll get to Todd McShay and Molly McGrath shortly. We came on the air preaching defense, Big 12. The whole country is very well aware what Iowa State is doing, and Baylor has copied that to an extent too.
And now people need to start to pay attention. Baylor played really well defensively. Give them credit, because all we wanted to do was talk about how hot Brock Purdy was coming into this football game, but they have shut him down.
Difference in the competition, no question, from 1 week ago. Here's Lovett. And so Baylor scores at the end of the half, and we'll get the football back here to start the second half. I'll tell you what, for a 7-0 game, Grease, this had its share of excitement and big hits and big plays.
No question. And listen, I love defense. I love a good defensive battle, and I think that's what we have in this second half coming up.
Here's Lovett. Good for 7. And down to Molly.
Well, Steve, at halftime, Iowa State's head coach Matt Campbell didn't have to give his team an inspiring speech, because his quarterback, Brock Purdy, stood up in front of his teammates, gave an inspiring speech saying, this is a difficult game, difficult conditions. We know that Baylor is giving us everything that they have, but we need to fight together. We've had some momentum. We just need to finish. So some great leadership from Purdy at the half.
2nd down and 3. Give it right back to Lovett. He's got first down yardage. Lovett is the leading rusher the last 2 seasons for the Bears. And this is actually a guy that the staff brought with them coming from Temple. He's a native of Burlington, New Jersey.
Just to follow up on that, Brock Purdy, that's great that he got up in front of the team, but a lot of the weight of this second half is going to be on his shoulders. He's got to play better.
Brewer throwing on the run and completing. Tyquan Thornton for a gain of 6. And some rhythm coming out of the locker room here.
And in the first half, just finishing up on Brock Purdy, right? He was the one that made that decision through that interception when they got down in the red area. So his defense is doing the job. Offensively, they really got to get it going.
Stay with the ground game. Lovett's got something going here, and a surge by the offensive line. 4-yard gain there gives him 26 for the game, and that makes him the leading rusher in the game.
A really nice start for Baylor offensively, getting that run game going.
9th play of the drive. See who they break here. Here's Brewer trying to get out of there, nothing doing. He is sacked by Marcel Spears, and you knew Baylor was trying to set up a big pass play with all the runs.
Yeah, Spears just kind of hid behind the defense and delayed his blitz. Here he is right here. He's going to wait, and then come, and Brewer never saw him. See him wait. He's got the back in man coverage, and when he blocks, it frees him up to come on the pressure.
That's the first sack by this Iowa State defense. Brewer, they'll take a shot now, and it is Knocked away. Justin Bickham and Denzel Mims. And that was a 50-50 ball on a line drive.
That's a great play by Bickham. He's playing that flat corner, and he just reads the eyes of the quarterback and then falls underneath that deep out route. That's the #1 route that Baylor likes to throw against this Iowa State defense, and it was well coached by John Haycock and well executed by Bickham.
Like Mims could have won that battle. 3rd and 16.
You get a drive going, right? And John Haycock knows. You get a drive going, and then he brings a little bit of pressure with Spears and puts you behind the down and distance and gets right back into his comfort zone of dropping 8.
Here's Brewer. He's got some green in front of him. Throwing and caught by R.J. Sneed down the sideline. And he has first down yardage. Good for 20. R.J. Sneed.
I think Charlie Brewer is a lot more dangerous going to his right than he is his left. He knows he's got time. Just buy a little bit. Keep your eyes downfield. A great job by Sneed of uncovering for the first down. That's when Brewer is most dangerous, when he's buying time, extending plays, and moving to his right.
Brewer with some pressure, looking, Mims caught it, touchdown. There is a flag, however. Check the marker.
Mims ran a double move on the outside on Datrone Young.
Holding. Defense #2. That penalty decline. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Remember, the first play of the game for Baylor was a double move on Anthony Johnson. Now they come back with Mims, the same thing, a double move on Datrone Young. Baylor identified the weakness of this Iowa State defense, our youth at corner, and they've burned them twice already in this game.
That is a beautiful throw. At that snap gets away, and it is picked up by Skylar Wetzel, the holder. And he'll just have to eat it there. The snap gets away, but what a throw that was. Charlie Brewer feeling it all of a sudden.
And a great route on the outside. And that's a touchdown.
Brewer started off just 3 of 10. Since then, 8 of 10, 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Baylor opening up a 13-0 lead. See the numbers on Purdy in that first half. From the 25. That's Lang in motion, top of your screen. Purdy in an empty backfield. Knocked away. Tariq Milton had it, then he didn't. Coverage on the play from Jordan Williams, who had the interception earlier, the only turnover of the game.
Well, Baylor came out of the locker room and decided offensively to start running the ball and getting some balance on offense, and it worked for them. They went right down the field, scored a touchdown. Iowa State needs to be careful. I know they're down 13 points, but they can't just come out here and make this a throw fest in the second half, because Baylor defensively doesn't need to come after the quarterback. They can sit back now up 2 touchdowns and play their drop 8 coverage and force Brock Purdy to be patient.
Purdy's pretty patient here. There's a flag down as the pass goes incomplete.
Not enough.
Holding. Offense #74. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
Bryce Meeker and holding. Meeker was involved. He was the player flagged in the controversial holding against Iowa at the end of that 1-point loss. And he is flagged for holding there.
You got to be careful right here if you're Brock Purdy. Baylor came out, scored on their first possession. You're behind the down and distance here, backed up in your own end. You got to be careful with this football. You turn this thing over now, and this game could get out of hand.
Purdy off his back foot to Deshaunte Jones. First down yardage, just what they needed, a gain of 19.
You can see why Jones is his go-to guy. It seems like every time they're in a 3rd down situation where they need a play, you see Jones step up. He finds a way to get open. Came into the game as a leading receiver with 20 catches, and He's showing up when they needed him so far today.
Todd, that was interesting. Phil Snow, defensive coordinator, decided to play man coverage. I have no idea why. They haven't played man all game. They've been in zone and been doing great, and they give up a first down.
First down and 10 off the play fake. Purdy to throw for it down the middle of the field. And nobody home. Sean Shaw and Darren Wilson crossed and were in the neighborhood, but it falls harmlessly to the turf.
I guess as a defensive coordinator, you try to mix it up, give different looks, but I agree with you. We've seen, and they talked about it, the coaches yesterday when we talked to Baylor, you know, the thing that they believe in is that they are fast. With 8 guys in a 2-point stance, that they have great speed and a lot more depth than they had a year ago on the defensive side, and it's showing up all day long, so just trust what you're doing.
I mean, I get it. You want to change it up, but not on 3rd and 10. I mean, that's the time to play zone if there ever was one.
One to snap it, get it away. It's Crony for a couple. Bring up a 3rd down and long. Tariq Milton getting some medical attention, we are told, on the sideline. There he is.
They're working that hamstring, and for a speed player at the receiver position, that's never a good sign. And he's trying to hydrate. It looks like our first little bout of cramp, and that's going to be a reoccurring theme for, I think, a lot of players as this second half wears on.
Purdy throws into heavy traffic. Landon Akers could not come up with it. And it's 4th down. Clay Johnston of coverage.
Well, we talk about tight windows all game long. This time it's a 3-deep zone, and you think you have a window right here. Here comes the receiver. Watch these linebackers converge. Clay Johnston just gets a hand in. That's exactly what Todd was talking about. The speed of this Baylor defense at linebacker and in the secondary really allows them to break and make plays in zone coverage.
5th-year senior Johnston has been plagued by injuries throughout his career. He is finally healthy, and he is loving life. One of the free spirits on this Baylor Bears squad. Arnold got caught up in some traffic as he fielded the punt.
Wow, that was just like Iowa State, how they lost to Iowa. Very similar. Guy trying to block the gunner almost runs into the receiver, and Baylor was very lucky this wasn't a turnover.
That was Barnes running into Arnold there. 42-yard punt. Football really is family when it comes to Charlie Brewer. An all-time Texas football family. Texas high school state champions include Charles' grandfather, his brother Michael. Don't forget about his dad, Robert. Played at Texas. Actually, all 3 of them played at Texas. Quarterback was the 1982 Cotton Bowl MVP. The whole family. Grandfather Charlie, the father Robert, Uncle Rob, all quarterbacks at Texas. His brother won a high school state championship, and so too did Charlie. Tyquan Thornton on the spin move and stays on his feet. And out beyond the 20-yard line.
And another great play there by Charlie Brewer, standing in the pocket. Iowa State tried to bring some pressure, trying to force the issue, maybe get a turnover to spark their team and their comeback. But Brewer, stone cold, stands in there, throws the shallow cross. And right now, the difference in the game, Steve, is Charlie Brewer executing better than Brock Purdy.
And Purdy did all the talking at halftime. I wonder what Brewer had to say. On the ground, it's Hasty for 3. 4 minutes left here in this 3rd quarter. A couple of touchdown drives for Baylor. The one at the end of the first half.
Well, you can sense now Matt Rule, he's not going to be in a hurry offensively. He wants to up 2 scores, bleed the clock, control the ball, protect the ball. I guarantee you that's what he said to Charlie Brewer before he came out on this drive, and execute.
Come out throwing. Great protection. Underneath, it's Hasty. First down yardage and makes some people miss. Jamichael Hasty for 16, turning nothing into something.
We've talked a lot about the temperature. I think it's starting to take its toll on this defensive line for Iowa State. They're only rushing 3, which you don't expect to get pressure with just rushing 3. But on the previous play, they tried to bring pressure. Brewer diagnosed, made a play. So Iowa State defensively, they're on their heels right now. The blitz.
And here's Brewer running out of it with some speed, and he'll slide down and take a hit at the 45 of Iowa State. Remember, there was some bad blood, punches thrown a year ago, and ejections. And at this point, all the boys are behaving on the field.
What a great block by Jermichael Hasty to free up Brewer. And he goes down, and that was, I agree, that was very iffy. He went feet first, and it looked like DJ Miller hit him in the head or neck area.
True freshman.
But another great execution by Baylor offensively. That blitz was designed to stop the run, and Hasty picked it up perfectly.
Hasty again. Stiff arm. Forced out by Mike Rose. Gain of 5 on the play.
And Baylor likes to rotate their running backs, but it's no surprise now in crunch time that Hasty's been the guy. They're throwing to him out of the backfield. They're letting him run. And you saw in that block that Brian just pointed out, he's their best in pass protection, does a tremendous job of protecting Brewer in those situations.
The last touchdown drive was all Lovett, and now it's all Hasty.
Well, when it's this temperature out, you got to do that. You got to keep these guys fresh.
Brewer to throw. R.J. Sneed turns it upfield for another first down. Gain of 9.
You know, a lot of people think Jermichael Hasty, they think just a scat back, you know, quick guy out of the backfield, but he's a powerful man. Look at this, 625 pounds on that bar. That bar was bending over his back. He is a powerful man, well put together, and that's a big reason why he's so good in pass pro and blocking.
And the leader in the weight room, not just in terms of the amount of weight and the stats, and we were told he was the first guy on this team, even after practice, right to the weight room. And your teammates start to notice that, and they start to follow him into the weight room. And everybody wants to be stronger and bigger and better looking in a T-shirt and in the end zone. Touchdown, Tyquan Thornton. The run sets up the pass. Another beauty from Charlie Brewer, a 35-yard score.
Every single time they get one-on-one on these young corners for Iowa State, they've been running the double move. This time it's an out route, and then he breaks it off. Thornton, a beautiful corner post, and the ball's on time from Brewer. That's the 3rd time they've run the double move on the corners of Iowa State, and every single time it's been a big play.
Wetzel had problems with the snap the last time around. You can see him still staring at the ball. The snap and hold are perfect, and Mayers pumps that extra point through. Minute 26 to go in the 3rd quarter. A defensive battle, and then Baylor turns up the offense with 3 touchdown drives. So where would you rather sit, Grease? I'd be on the right sideline. How about you?
Working on my tan. I'd probably be over there.
I definitely want to be on the Baylor sideline right now.
Yeah.
They're having a good time. Think that heat's bothering them? I don't think so. And a 20-0 lead with a minute 26 left here in the 3rd quarter. 7-0 game at halftime. Baylor has come out and really taken things over. Touchback to bring it out to the 25-yard line. Here's Purdy. Lofts one up. Knocked away. LaMichael Petway looks like he's shaken up. There was excellent coverage on the play by Kalen Barnes.
Boy, and Petway ran a great route, and he's open. He's 5 yards beyond the defense, and this ball just hangs up in the air and allows the Baylor corner to get back underneath it. If that's thrown out ahead of Petway, it's a touchdown.
Cyclones need some kind of offensive spark to stay in this game. Shovel to Nwangu. He is met immediately by Chris Miller. It's a gain of 5, but Nwangu will feel that one. 3rd and 5.
Chris Miller is one of those speed demons in that secondary for Baylor. He's one of those guys that's always struggled to keep weight on. You talked about Jermichael Hasty having an influence. He influenced this guy. getting him in the weight room, and now he's 195 pounds, and he can really run the alley and hit.
One of the single-digit stars for this Baylor squad. We hit the final 45 seconds of the third quarter. Purdy buying himself some time. Will throw across his body, throws it up for grabs, and it's caught. Sean Shaw, the redshirt freshman. All 6'6" of them goes up to haul in that 33-yard pass by Brock Purdy.
Boy, and a desperation throw here from Purdy. He just wants to find a little bit of room to give somebody a chance. His life passes before his eyes after he throws it, and a defender goes right over him.
Outcome of the game might have passed before his eyes. Put that one up for grabs. Purdy will stumble forward, and that should do it for the third quarter. Gain of 4 on that play. Brock Purdy off that record-setting game of a week ago. Has not found any success here in Waco. The Baylor Bears offense on track and into the end zone 3 times this afternoon as we hit the fourth quarter.
Welcome back to Waco. Clay Johnson's played a whale of a football game. He's been involved in every aspect. The run game, he's pressured Brock Purdy into making this interception. He's gotten his hands on the football at times and closing windows, but he has been all over the football field, and a main reason why Baylor's defense has outplayed Iowa State's defense.
Here's Purdy to throw. Able to hit Chase Allen down the sideline for the rare big gainer. He's inside the 5. That's someplace the Cyclones have not been all afternoon. First catch for Chase Allen is good for 23.
And a great opportunity for Iowa State at the start of this fourth quarter to make this a 2-score game potentially if they can put this in the end zone.
Deepest penetration had been the Baylor 31. And it's Johnny Lang into the end zone. And hold the phone. Touchdown, Iowa State.
Well, you knew coming into this game, 2 well-coached football teams in a really hot and steamy environment here. It's going to be a fourth quarter game, and who has enough gas left in the tank at the end is going to win, and Iowa State is not going to go quietly.
Lang will get credit for the touchdown, but that was Chase Allen on the big play for 24 down the sideline. Extra point on the way is good. Asali boots it through. Peyton Paddock is kicking it away into the end zone for a touchback. Iowa State was ranked in the top 25. Then they had a triple overtime game against Northern Iowa, winning 29-26. Here's Thornton. Tyquan Thornton making people miss. And he's across midfield. Everywhere you look now, all of a sudden we got big plays left and right. Minute in, quarter number 4. Here in Waco. Should cool down any minute, Grease. John Lovett, the ball carrier. Good for 4.
John Lovett, the ball carrier.
Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Todd McShay, Molly McGrath, bringing you all the action here. Baylor coaching, Baylor team going back actually to the Temple days under Matt Rule coach teams, 35 consecutive wins when they've had the lead entering the fourth quarter. They entered the quarter with a 20-0 lead. We'll see how they protect it. Try to take some clock away here on offense. With Brewer standing at the 50, gives to John Lovett. It was Lovett, then Hasty. Now Lovett's drive again. Orion Vance makes the stop. It's a gain of 11, though.
We'll give some credit now to this offensive line of Baylor. They're starting to take control of the line of scrimmage. The senior fifth-year senior center, Jake from Morgan. He's a transfer from Clemson. Prince Pines, the right guard. Blake Bettier there. Nice double team on that last play. And then Tecklenburg and Galvin on the left side. These guys have kind of taken over the course of this game in the fourth quarter on the ground.
Quick throw, dangerous neighborhood. It's R.J. Sneed, but it's a loss of 3 on the play. Greg Eisworth. That's the first time I've mentioned his name today. He makes the play.
And this is the aggressive play in the first half, going for it on 4th and 5. They've kept this mentality. To Todd's point, they knew coming into this game that in order to beat Iowa State and to solve this Rubik's Cube of a defense, they were going to have to be aggressive, and they've done it throughout the course of this game. You got to give them credit, and I think they're going to continue that way through the rest of this game.
Brewer throwing on the run and completing to Thornton. Gain of 6 on the play. Going back to that first season with Matt Rule, Grease said it was like a mutiny. They treated the bye week like another week at training camp. Then they went out and lost 59-16 to Oklahoma State. And he said only because Mike Gundy was a gentleman, that it could have been a lot worse. He brought the seniors in the next day and said, hey, stay with me, stick with us. And then last year they beat Oklahoma State. They grabbed those same guys and said, hey, was it worth it? Was it worth it? To a man, they're shaking their heads, yes, and here they are.
He's had a plan, and he's executed that plan. He hasn't had any delusions of grandeur. He knows it's going to be a tough turnaround, but they certainly seem to be on the right path.
Here's Brewer under some pressure, and he'll be taken down. Brewer is dropped by Orion Vance. Second sack of the day by the Cyclones defense, and they needed that one.
Yeah, and Orion Vance, he comes into this game as a leading sack master in the Big 12 Conference. They line him up right in the middle, and he just kind of waits, and he's going to beat the back block. He just runs right over the halfback. Orion Vance has been a wonderful surprise for this Iowa State defense. He got beat out a year ago by Mike Rose in camp for that Mike linebacker position, but he didn't get down. He didn't pout. He worked hard, and he got back to a starting position this year. He's been a key piece of this defense.
So they'll take a shot here. They're already 2 for 2 on 4th down. Here's Brewer throwing on the run, and nothing doing. And that's how they turn it over on downs. All right,
opportunity here for Iowa State.
No question. Still very much in this game. Here's Johnny Lang. Scored the lone touchdown. Keeps those feet churning and burning. It's a gain of 6.
So no need to be in a big hurry here. I like the pace of the Iowa State offense on the last drive. They went right down the field. They got the tight end involved in a passing game. Plenty of time on the clock, all 3 timeouts. So Brock Purdy, that's all you can ask for, is an opportunity to get back in this football game.
So Matt Campbell, cool, calm customer.
I don't know about cool over there. It's a little warm.
You know what I meant. Purdy spinning out of trouble. And lost one to a wide open Darren Wilson. Got lost in the defense for 26 yards.
That was a great throw, running to his left. Purdy, not a lot of room. Just extend the play. But this is tough. When you're running to your left and you got to throw this ball on a second level over the linebacker there, that's really well done.
And it all started with him hanging in the pocket and waiting for the pressure actually to get there, then knowing when to bail out of the pocket. That allowed his receiver time to get down the field and gain some separation.
Here's some pressure up the middle. Purdy hit as he throws. The ball comes out. James Lynch knocked it away. Deshaunte Jones able to scoop it up. But James Lynch, considered the best player on this Baylor defense, had the blocked field goal earlier. And as the Waco Tribune described him, he can often look like the second coming of J.J. Watt. Got a taste of that there.
Yeah, I don't know about J.J. Watt.
I didn't say
slow
it.
down.
I didn't say it. The Waco Tribune said it.
You repeated it.
Oh, proper sourcing. That's how that's done. Here's some Baylor pressure right up the middle. Purdy hit as he throws it. It's caught by Chase Allen. Arnold had the coverage. Purdy was in all sorts of trouble, and Allen bailed him out. It's a gain of 7.
Wow, at 6'7", he decided, let me just throw it up to him. It looked like he caught that ball with one hand. His right hand, the other hand was being held by Arnold. Tremendous catch, and it's important because it brings up a third manageable situation here.
Do like these tight ends for Iowa State. Under 8 to go in the 4th. Purdy will step up and throw, and it's caught. LaMichael Petway. See where they spot him. Has the first down by a yard.
It took a while, but Brock Purdy has settled into a rhythm here in the second half, and he's trusting his protection. And I was standing right behind the receiver when he broke on that ball, and the ball was already out. Great timing on that throw.
Here's Purdy again under some pressure this time, and sails one. Wanted Allen, who was being held, and the flag flies in. Blake Lynch gonna get caught for defensive holding.
On the play, both on the defense. Personal foul, roughing the passer, driving the quarterback in the ground. Defense number 9, that penalty's declined. Pass interference, defense number 2. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
A couple of penalties on single-digit players in those Baylor uniforms.
The roughing the passer penalty was on James Lockhart, number 9. Driving him into the ground.
And that's the one that is declined. First down and 10. Iowa State, they've been out of this game the entire way. Now got a chance to very much get back into this game at the Baylor 12. Wide open man is Johnny Lang. Defense caught napping. Second touchdown of the game. Brock Purdy will never have an easier touchdown pass for 12, and don't go anywhere.
And I'm not sure if this was designed this way or if Iowa State just lucked into it, but watch, all these players are going to come across the field, and Lang is just going to release out late. I didn't know if Brock Purdy was going to see him.
That's unbelievable.
Got back to him, yeah. He just kind of bought enough time.
That's unbelievable.
And found him.
There's barely a green jersey in your television screen. A Sally. Boots through the extra point. 7:24 to go. All of a sudden, consecutive touchdown drives by Iowa State. And we're on our way to a fabulous finish.
It hasn't been pretty for Brock Purdy through 3 quarters of this football game, but we know he's a gamer, and we know that they're not going to lay down under Matt Campbell head coach football team.
Really? It hasn't been pretty for Purdy? Is that what you went with there? All right, here's Baylor. And Brewer trying to get something going on offense. Marcel Spears to stop, no gain.
Well, I think, you know, Todd was mentioning it earlier, that stay aggressive. You can't go into a shell here offensively if you're Baylor, and why would you? You know, Charlie Brewer has earned the opportunity to throw the football. In the second half alone, he's 11 of 17 for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you're going to win this football game, if you're Matt Rule, don't go into a shell. Let Charlie Brewer throw the football.
Pressure right up the middle. Brewer trying to escape. Throwing on the run, and too far behind Denzel Mims, and he took a big shot there from Anthony Johnson.
That's the right idea. And I'm not a huge fan of throwing back over the middle late, but Charlie Brewer had Mims, just threw a little bit behind him. But you've gone back-to-back incompletions, and now 3rd and 10. You haven't taken any time off the clock.
Baylor just 3 of 12 in third down conversions. Came in #1 in the nation on 3rd down.
Keep an eye on Tyquan Thornton. He's had a huge day and has come up big when they've needed him.
Sophomore from Miami, we'll watch for him. Here's Brewer again, running to his right and throwing that one away. Tough drive for this Baylor offense. And the worst part of it, you're not going to get any yards or points, but they don't take any time off the clock either.
No, and credit this Iowa State defense, too. They just rushing the passer. That was Orion Vance again.
He destroyed Christoph Henley there, the tight end. That's the 5th 3 and out for Baylor.
And now tons of time left for a hot Iowa State offense, and Matt Rule's going to need to depend on his defense to get one more stop.
Here in the second half. Deshaunte Jones on a couple of hops. Trying to burst through a seam. And so Iowa State will start with excellent field position at their own 41-yard line. 6:21 left. Don't go anywhere. It's a 6-point game. All right, here we go. Now across midfield. Purdy under some pressure. He'll get rid of it. The crony out of the backfield. Gain of 5 on the play. Back to here's Purdy. Underneath, the crony again. Picks up 4. They'll be just short of the first down.
And you see Purdy, he's in no rush at all. He's taking the check down. He's just finding completions. Don't go broke taking a profit. Keep finding completions.
3rd and about 1.5 yards. Purdy going to keep it and be dropped in the backfield. There is a flag down. Grayland Arnold had him in the backfield for the sack. We'll see if that's another face mask.
Personal foul, face mask.
Wow.
Defense number 1. The 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Boy, and Brock Purdy's going to get away with one here. He should have given this football away. He's got the read right here, and he's just reading this guy right here. And when he comes upfield, he should give that ball. It would have been a first down easy, and maybe more.
First down, yeah.
But very lucky that Grayland Arnold's hand got up around the face mask, and that's back-to-back personal foul face mask penalties on Baylor. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Lynch and Arnold have just given him 30 extra yards. Now to the 25 of Baylor. Coming up on 4.5 to go. Here's Purdy under some pressure. Sidearms it. And incomplete to Crony. Clock stopped, 4.5 left.
And Brock Purdy had a chance there to pull it down and run. That's been his thing. You know, when the play breaks down and he can't find an open receiver, he'll usually revert to his legs. And that time he had a lot of green grass in front of him if he wanted it.
Purdy's going to need some ice after this one to cool him down, and he's also thrown it 42 times today. Get that formation set for Iowa State. Here's Purdy. Now gets some pressure up the middle, able to escape. Turns into a ball carrier. It'll be pushed out at the 20-yard line by Clay Johnston. He is so casual back there, Grease. There is no panic. He seems cool and calm, too.
Yeah, he seems calm, but, you know, this is not an easy situation because you're here in the red zone and the field is compressed and Baylor's dropping 8 and you only got 2 downs here left to get this first down, and he needs to have a little more sense of urgency throwing the football.
Keep an eye on 93, James Lynch, the pass rusher. Iowa State's been double teaming him. I'm guessing they're going to do it again.
3rd down and 5 of the 20. Baylor still rushing 3. Pass is caught. It's Kohler, the tight end, looking for the indication, and there it is. Touchdown. Charlie Kohler, a 20-yard score from Brock Purdy. And the all-important extra point is coming up next.
They've been targeting these tight ends in the 4th quarter. They got the matchup they liked. Kolar at 6'7" on a 6-foot Chris Miller and gets into the end zone. That is well done by Kolar. It's only a matter of time until he made a big play in this game.
The all-important extra point now for the redshirt junior, Connor Asali. And that just changed. Cross Baylor off the list now. For the first time all season, the Bears trail, and it's late. 3:45 to go here in the 4th. Iowa State up 21-20. You see 21 unanswered by the Cyclones. And even when Baylor went up 20-0 and missed the extra point, you knew the extra point would come back to hurt them. And now they trail by that 1 point. All right, here comes Baylor. Right back with Tyquan Thornton. Gain of 5. Iowa State scoring their 21 points in a span of less than 11 minutes. And on that last drive, 65-yard scoring drive, 30 of the 65 on personal foul face masks.
Yep, Baylor has been killing itself on defense in the 4th quarter.
Here's Brewer to throw underneath. R.J. Sneed. We'll see where they spot him. Just shy of the first down.
And much like Brock Purdy was taking a profit, finding completions, the same thing starts for Brewer.
3rd and 1, and Brewer trying to get that extra yard. Now the second dive attempt, able to get there. Marcel Spears had stuffed the hole. Not long enough.
Boy, he had to earn that yard. He took a wallop. It's been a great game watching these two quarterbacks. It hasn't been pretty the whole game, but these two guys are competitors. They will do anything to win.
All defense in the first half and a ton of offense and fun here in the second half. Here's Brewer on the run. Leads Hasty out of the backfield. Just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Guys, I think it's important to note that Noah Rauschenberg, the freshman kicker, true freshman, who's the backup, has been warming up on the sideline, and John Mayers has not been as much. Even his teammates have been consoling him. So you wonder if the true freshman is going to wind up being the kicker if they're put in that spot.
Rauschenberg is the long field goal kicker. Brewer unloads. It's knocked away. Orion Vance put the pressure on him. 3rd down and 9.
Well, that's interesting, Todd, because Rauschenberg has been hurt. He pulled a groin, and they didn't want to use him in this game, but they may have to. But even to give him an opportunity, they need to convert here. 3rd and 9 situation.
Rauschenberg had been kicking off, not able to do that. So the only thing they said he would do in this game would be long field goals. They might need a really long field goal. There's 3rd and 9. Breaks down for Brewer. Going to try to run for it, and he'll get there. Head first dive by Charlie Brewer. We wind under 2 minutes left in the 4th.
Quarterbacks' legs can wear down a defense, especially late in the 4th quarter in a 2-minute drill. You got guys that have been rushing all game long. They're trying to stay hydrated, and when Brewer breaks out of there, it can be a backbreaker.
That's what Purdy did to Baylor a year ago. Now Brewer trying to turn the tables. Wide open is Thornton. Tyquan Thornton having himself a game. That's a gain of 14. Thornton 9 catches for 123 yards.
No safety.
Under 90 seconds left on 1st down. Brewer to Thornton. They're going to say he juggled it and was out of bounds.
Did he catch this ball clean, or did he have control of that ball? No, that's a good call. I think that left foot came down out of bounds before he had possession of that football. It's a great job by this officiating crew.
Good live call on the field.
How aggressive will Matt Rule be here, knowing his kicking situation?
Here's Brewer rolling to his favored right side. And a catch. Tyquan Thornton. Give him 10 on the afternoon. Having himself a day. Good for 15 yards.
Wow, that's a great catch by Thornton.
Just 5, not 15. It's a 3rd down now, and you see the field goal line. How do you feel about that field goal line?
I see no line.
That's like the yellow line, people. It's not always exact. Here's Brewer to throw. Caught. Denzel Mims. 1st down. Gain of 6. And across the theoretical field goal line, the target line.
And if Baylor ends up winning this game, this wide receiver crew deserves a lot of credit. They've been making play after play.
Here comes some pressure now from the outside. Loft swung, sideline, and it's caught but out of bounds. Tyquan Thornton. Thornton has taken over this football game as a wide receiver for Baylor. He's been excellent.
He only had 5 catches coming into this game, and he's been the guy.
Targeted 13 times, and he has 10 catches. And he brings the swag to Baylor. Not a lot of Miami kids on this Baylor team. It's a different kind of heat in Waco than Miami. Here's Brewer able to step into one and fire. It is Thornton again. It'll be 3rd down and short. 35 seconds left. The clock's winding, and Matt Rule will spend one of his 2 timeouts here. So you see Noah Rosberg. John Mayers is there as well. Rauschenberg is a true freshman. Mayers is a redshirt freshman.
Mayer's been talked to by just about every person on this team. It's amazing. Everyone's consoling him, talking to him, yelling at him. He's had a long day at the office.
3rd down and 2. Pressure comes right up the middle. Brewer somehow able to escape, but stumbles down for a loss of 2. And it's going to be 4th and 4. Orion Vance got enough.
What do you do now, Coach?
And Matt Rule's going to let it tick down, and he's going to kick the field goal, whereas Matt Campbell took a timeout.
Iowa State won't let it tick all the way down. So Mayers missed that 38-yard field goal on the opening drive. They missed an extra point, but that's not on him. That was on Skylar Wetzel, the holder, who couldn't put the snap down. And in fact, it will be Mayers and not Rauschenberg.
Now, this is where you make a name for yourself. Young John Mayers, nice and smooth, swing through. Don't try to guide it. Give it your best shot.
25 seconds left. This will be from 38. The miss was from 38. Ross Matizik is the snapper. Kick on the way, and it is good. John Mayers, welcome to college football. That's his first career field goal. And he's put Baylor up by 2 with 21 seconds left. Snap and hold were perfect, and the kick by Mayers was true.
Boy, and it was good right from the moment it hit his foot. He went right through it, really smooth swing. He pulled the first one in the game. And then you're over there for 10, 15 minutes, and everybody's coming up to you, as Todd said, and you wonder about the psychology of the young kid.
You're not even sure you're going to be the kicker on that.
Right, you don't know. The other guy's warming up. He's going through all kinds of things in his head, and that was good from the snap. When they needed it most on offense, Charlie Brewer and their kicking game, they got it done.
Auburn and Mississippi State starting on ESPN News. As soon as we are through, we'll take you over there. Fair catch is signaled by Johnny Lang. Sally does have a career long of a 50-yard field goal a season ago. Here's Purdy on the run, throwing, had 2 players in the vicinity, and Kohler couldn't bring it down. Jones and Kohler could have taken your choice, and neither can haul it in.
Wow, Charlie Kohler, who's a basketball player in high school, looked like he lost that football. He was the one I think Purdy was trying to get the ball to, and it went right through his hands. If he would have caught that football, they would have been in business.
Still 2 timeouts remaining for the Cyclones. Purdy steps and loads and throws, and it is Kohler. He's out to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 17. 8 seconds left.
Yeah, now you got a decision to make, because you don't have enough time to get this ball 25 yards down the field in 8 seconds and call a timeout. That play is going to take more than 8 seconds, so you're really in a position here where you got to go for the end zone.
Those 2 timeouts are overrated. You don't have time to take them anymore. Cyclones need a miracle. Ball is knocked away and recovered by Baylor. James Lockhart able to knock it away from Purdy, and then James Lynch recovers. And it's Baylor football, a 2-point lead with 2 seconds left.
Well, you feel good for guys like James Lockhart, James Lynch, number 93. Both of those guys made Some great plays in the fourth quarter. It wasn't pretty for Baylor defensively in the fourth quarter, but they made the plays they needed to win in the end.
Just the third sack by this Baylor defense, able to get them the football back.
And a big-time win for Matt Rule. This is a statement win for him and this program, coming from 1-11 to 7-6 now this year to 4-0.
What a story here this afternoon. Baylor has to come from back behind, get a field goal from the freshman kicker to win. For our producer, Josh Hoffman, our director, Mike Schwab, Brian Greasy, Todd McShay, Molly McGrath. I'm Steve Levy from Waco, where the Baylor Bears win in thrilling fashion. Get you to Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, and Holly Rowe in Auburn for some SEC action prime time.